Hey guys, my name is Ryan and welcome to Overwatch Central. So today we're going to be sitting down with DrRiku, who is a top 500 Roadhog player, has been playing the hero for a long time, obviously hates the state that Roadhog's in right now, but really likes the changes. He goes over the new old playstyle that makes a return, and also how Roadhog fares against Doomfist and Brigitte, and spoiler alert, it's really good. You can check out all of DrRiku's stuff in the description below, and also I want to hear what you guys have to say about the new Roadhog changes, whether you like them, whether you don't, whether you've not been on the PTR yet, in which case you definitely should. Let us know in the comments below what you think. I'm really interested to hear what everybody has to say on this, so do let us know, and let's get started.
Hey, what's up guys? It's Riku again. How are you guys doing?
So straight to it, DrRiku, the PTR Roadhog changes, is it any good, or is it one of those changes where people say it's really good, but it turns out to not really do much at all?
So this version of Roadhog is probably the most fun I've had with the character in a very long time. He is so good right now. It actually blows my mind. Like, comparing from PTR to live, he just feels so much better. And there's so many instances that, like, I was thinking, man, if that was on live, that would have broke. Or, hey, you know, if this was live, I wouldn't have killed that guy. That was iffy. You know, there's a lot of things about this that just make the character just more consistent. And obviously, he still has the weakness where he just feeds up a lot of ults, and he doesn't offer as much utility as the other tanks. But to deal with that, he has all this damage and his hook, which is probably one of the strongest abilities in the game currently, the way it works right now. And I think that because of that, we're going to be seeing a lot more Roadhog, and I don't think anyone's going to be complaining if you pick Roadhog. And I'm very excited to be playing him more on live once this actually hits.
Okay, so comparatively, how good is Roadhog now? I feel a lot of people like this change, but in your eyes, where does Roadhog sit now? Is he going to be a must pick, for example, or do you feel that he's just going to be a little bit more viable?
So if I were to have a discussion with someone and say, how good is this iteration of Roadhog? I would say this is right below the first few seasons of Hog. Like, obviously back then that was like the golden age. You could pick him, you could perma-run him in ranked, you could just like destroy everybody, have a good time, climb the ranks if you got really good at hooking and getting those sweet right-click spots. And it's actually crazy on PTR. I was actually one-shotting Brig, which is a pretty crazy thing to do. I would have never done that on live because of how like hitboxes work and whatnot, but because of they've reduced his spread and just made the hook combo just better to pull off, there is so much in here that I'm extremely happy about. And the craziest thing too that I just remembered is like when you get like juicy right clicks, like if you get that sweet spot, like that sweet spot that Roadhog's known for with his right click, this is like the first few iterations of Hog, where you get that right click and they're gone. They're just gone. And that happened a lot with a lot of the characters like McCree and Brig. I actually just chunked. Doomfist, I killed a lot of Doomfists on PTR. It's actually really good. And we'll get into that with Doomfist in a little bit here. It's just that this version of Hog is probably the most happy I've been with in a very long time. He still has the shortcomings of his hook breaking on LOS, but because of how they changed everything and everything that came out before and how it is right now, this feels the most consistent, the most fun, and more importantly, the most viable that he's been in a while. So I'm really happy to report that he's insanely good right now. I think he's probably, if people were to have tier lists, I would say he's probably in the middle upper tier or in the bottom high tier, if that makes sense. So I think he's in a really good spot. And I honestly don't think they should do anything else to him. I think they shouldn't buff him anymore, and I don't think they should nerf him. They just should keep him the way it is, and he's perfectly fine.
Specifically, what areas of Roadhog are much better? He got a lot of different changes. Some of them seem much bigger than others. I was wondering what changes really caught your eye, and what really stood out to you when you played him. So
the thing that's the most impactful to me, and I think to a lot of people that will agree, is his scrap gun. I know a lot of people like to focus on the Roadhog combo hook thing, but having the ability to do as much damage as he does right now and be consistent, they haven't increased his damage. They just made it so it's more concise. It's more in line to what a shotgun should be in a game like this. And I'm really happy that they've been doing that of all the shotgun characters. I'm really glad that they're doing that. But that's probably the most impactful. Because of like how I mentioned before earlier, how right click got a buff on this regard of like, was it reduction of 50% the randomization spread? That's a pretty big deal, because on PTR I counted a good number of times where I got a really good right click and I just eradicated someone. Obviously they didn't have armor on them, they were like their flat 200 HP, but they basically got right clicked to death. They had full health and they were gone. They were just gone. Or they got really low to the point where anybody that could sneeze on like a Tracer, a Genji, a Winston, whatever it is, they would just die immediately. And that's a big deal. That's a big deal. And that also goes into, obviously, the more infamous thing that he's known for and why he's been nerfed and changed so much is his hook combo. You hook someone, you shoot them, you don't even have to melee anymore in some characters. They just disappear. They're just dead. And I think that that's probably the most impactful right now. And the other thing that I was really surprised that they did was they changed hook a lot. They the fact that for me the thing that really changed the most for him, the two things were the momentum change and the cooldown change. Now the momentum change helps out so much because there have been so many instances on live where I'm just like, wow, this Lucio's just gonna get away now because he had movement speed and jumping towards a corner. He's gonna get away. Or how Pharah would do rocket boost right below a corner or something, or just any momentum characters. It felt really cheesy to do. Like a lot of people would just like, oh, there's Roadhog, I'm just gonna jump towards the corner, and then they would just get away. That pretty much mostly negates that. On PTR, I think I've counted maybe like 3-4 times in the span of like 9 hours that I was playing, which is that's like the most I've played of Overwatch in a long time, believe it or not. 9 hours. That's just how much fun this new version of Hog is and how good he is. But I only counted like 3 times that hook broke on like LOS. I think one of them was on a Tracer rewind, which makes sense, I guess, because of like favor the shooter kind of thing. And then other time where like there was like a Lucio that jumped over, but that was like the only times. Every time I hooked someone, no matter what the scenario was, I felt like I always got them, which felt really good. And the fact that the cooldown begins immediately after you throw, that helps so much. So that helps in 2 regards. The handful of times where it does break on LOS, that's going to help him a lot. And the fact that it feels like a 6-second cooldown hook again. It feels like it. It's just, it's insane. He has it up more often, so he's able to use his main ability more effectively. And that helps out a lot. Also, the momentum thing is really, really insane. The fact that it starts at 0.3 seconds instead of 0.5 is pretty big. That means that like certain playstyles, and we'll get into that like a little bit later, are a lot more effective, like flank hog. This is everything that's adding up right now is making it so that the character is being able to play in a lot more ways, and it makes it more consistent and feels like the character is, well, a character. And that feels really good. I think the whole hog change is kind of nice. It's different. It could be worse in certain ways, but for overall, the biggest changes is spread and the way the momentum works and cooldown. Those are like the 3 biggest things that they did. The speed change is also really nice as well.
So basically all of the changes really positively affect Hog. That's good to know. But what do you see happening more with these changes? More to do with the meta, comps that are played? Where do you feel that Roadhog and how Roadhog is going to be played when he goes over to the live servers and into competitive?
So one of my favorite things about this change that I think a lot of people don't really realize is that these changes really add up to a flank Roadhog again. Think about it. There is the delay between being hooked, being buffed. There's the momentum change. There's the cooldown. And there's the reduction in the spread. All of that's adding up to quick pick off kills. So we're probably gonna see a lot more flank hog playstyles, at least specifically for me. It's one of my favorite things that I did in the first few seasons. I would pick off a support or like a DPS and run back, wait for my cooldowns, do it again, or chase after people. So I think in that particular playstyle, we're gonna see more flank hogs. Especially now, since because of how his E works, where you could just run away and take reduction in damage, you can get a lot of resources pulled on the enemy team to you now, especially how it works with his new changes. So we're going to see a lot more of that. We're definitely going to just flat out see more Hog play because of the fact that he just does a lot more damage. You might supplement, a DPS to triple tank again, maybe. I know that's very dreadful to think about. I know people hate that. Some people do, but I love triple tank. That was like my favorite iteration, as you can imagine. Back then, when like Zarya and Hog were in the game, that was like the main thing to run back then. Which they were both two of my favorite tanks in the game. So yeah, we're gonna probably maybe see a little bit more of triple tank, maybe a bit more flank Hog. I'm personally more excited about flank Hog. That was my favorite playstyle. And maybe see more Orisa Hog a little bit more on more maps instead of just being like specific maps that have like, the cheesy kill things like on Well or whatever. So I think we're going to be seeing a lot more playstyles and a lot more interesting play between players because of this. I'm excited for it, and I hope you guys are too.
So we've spoken about what will change for Roadhog, how he will play, what compositions he'll be a part of. Now I want to know what heroes he'd be really good against. Why would you pick Roadhog? What heroes was he really good against? Where do you see his role being in the game now, I suppose?
So I do think that this iteration of Hog is going to be the counter character to Doomfist. Now, on PTR, I was playing against a lot of Doomfists. Now, keep in mind that I understand that PTR isn't the best way to gauge whether or not a character is broken or weak, or if it's good at certain against matchups, because, well, to be perfectly honest with you, the matchmaking in there is not that great because not many people are playing it. But I can tell you this much, from the Doomfist that I was playing against, and some of them were pretty decent, some of them were pretty good, I was killing them very easily. I do think because of the new Roadhog change that I've seen a lot of talk in the community that like Sombra, Doomfist, and Brig should get nerfed. I don't think Doomfist needs to get nerfed after this. It's going to help out a lot with that regard. I think Brig as well, we're probably going to see less Brig because of Hog, because of how much damage he does and the pickoff potential he has on her. He can easily kite her and just keep her down. And maybe a little bit Sombra, because now he's a little bit more reliable on killing her. Now, granted, of course, like I said earlier, I don't know for sure. It's really hard to gauge whether or not the information I'm giving you guys right now is accurate because, well, matchmaking on there, I can't really take it too seriously. But I can tell you that because of the consistency that he has, I can for sure tell you that he's definitely going to be a bit of a big eyesore for people that play those kind of characters like Brig, Doomfist, Sombra, which are very meta right now, especially at the high end. I do think we're going to see a lot of people get a little frustrated if you play against this version of Hog. So yeah.
I guess penultimately then, before we get onto the plugin, is there any other interesting interactions or stuff that you realized and learnt about when you were trying out new Roadhog?
There's nothing really too interesting to talk about that I found out, other than saying, like, earlier I mentioned that it's easier to get just your right clicks. It's a lot easier to one-shot people, but the thing that's totally different is the way Whole Hog works. I know I didn't really talk much about that because that's not really the thing that I was really focusing on, or the thing that's left an impression on me, but Whole Hog acts really differently. So on live, if you Whole Hog someone, they basically, if you're like right in front of them, like a tank or something, they just fly away. They it's ridiculous. It's actually fucking hilarious how like far they go when you get that close of Whole Hog. But this one, it kind of like gently pushes you away. And for certain instances, it could be better or worse. If you're just trying to like get an environmental kill very quickly, the live version of Hog is definitely the way to go. So in that way, it's nerfed. But in the new version, it's buffed in a way that it's still doing consistent. You're still knocking people away, but you're doing more damage because they're not being pushed away as much. And you have to keep in mind that because you're not pushing them away as hard as you are, your team can do more damage because they're still like relatively close. So in some ways it's nerfed, in some ways it's buffed, but I am gonna miss the live version of Roadhog. It was just so fucking funny to just see, like, a Reinhardt get hooked and just fly across the map and just die instantly. So, that's something I'm gonna miss definitely. But overall, everything's looking really good for the character, and I'm pretty excited to play him.
And finally, of course, where can people find more of you streaming? It's good to see you having fun with the hero again. So where can people find you playing a lot more of this hero, really showing off how good new Roadhog is? Because I've seen a little bit of myself, and man, I'm really excited to see him go into live servers.
Thank you guys for listening to me. If you want to know what my socials are, you can check me out at my Twitch at /DrRiku. You can also follow me on my YouTube, which is DrRiku as well, and my Twitter is DrRiku TV. So if you guys want to check me out, see my content or anything, hey man, I'm here for you. I post shit on there. It's great. We do silly stuff and make dumb jokes. And about that Smash Ultimate, is anyone excited about that? I know I am. All right, guys. Peace.
And that's it for this time. Thank you very much for watching. You could check out all of DrRiku's stuff as I said before. Let me know what you think in the comments below, whether you agree or disagree, if you're really excited to see Roadhog back, or whether you really don't like him. Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you next time.